Hey Big Noise, how you doing? Good to see you. Now, today, I've got an exciting one for you today. We have the fall of Jericho. Now, Jericho is a city. we're going to be looking into Joshua 6. But first, I'm going to tell you a bit of the backstory. Everyone likes a bit of backstory as we go off into a distant land. Now, you've just had, the beginning of Joshua, you've just had Moses who's died. So my last video was Moses parting the sea. So he was going through the sea. And so Moses has just died. So he's been leading the people. He led them out of Egypt all the way to where he is now. So they've just been wandering around the desert for ages. So we're now at a point where Moses has just died and God has just said to Joshua, you are going to be my new leader. So you're going to take up the mantle of what Moses is going to do and you're going to get into the promised land. So can you imagine that? All these people have been walking through the desert for 40 years and suddenly they get to hear you're going into the promised land. This is the point. And they're like, oh, exciting. So let's go quickly into this. So Joshua gets commissioned. So he gets to be the person that's going to lead the army. So he starts getting them ready, going, right, we're all going to go. He then starts taking spies out into different places just to see what the land is, especially Jericho. An exciting story, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it one day, of Rahab hiding the spies. I'm not going to go into it, but the spies go in there and she basically hides them, and then they get to, they don't get killed by the Jericho armies or anything, so which is quite important for the next bit. Then Israel crossed the Jordan. So not only has God done it fairly recently with Moses as they got out, I suppose not fairly recently, 40 years is quite a long time, as they go out of Egypt to get away from the Egyptians, now God does it again, opens the water of the Jordan. Now, this is a bit slightly off topic, but I'm going to say it anyway. As he finishes, so he's got the waters open, they all walk through the whole of the nation of Israel, and then God says, put 12 stones into the water. So it's probably rocks, not stones like this, and on the side, so that you can always remember how bad are we at remembering things, remembering how brilliant God is and how amazing things he does. I've got a book, I've probably said a few times on here, that I try to write down stuff. I haven't done it for a while now, but there's so many things that God has done, miraculous things, or financial things, or whatever. I've prayed for something and I've got it and then I've written it down, and I haven't done that for a little bit of time, but it's so exciting. It's good to remember. Slightly off topic, but very good. So they've just got through the Jordan again. Now they get through the Jordan, and then, as you can imagine, if you're an army against, the Israelites this time, and they've just walked through some water, I would think, I think I might be on the wrong side here. So there's some here, it says the Spirit, their hearts melted, and there was no longer, there was no longer any spirit in them because of the people of Israel. So they're so scared, these other armies, because the Israelites are doing amazing things because God's with them. And that is, just think of the building that's just happened. So I don't know how many of you know that we've just got purchased a building, and that's just come from miraculous things. Like, God's just done some amazing things. Our people in our offices and the leaders of our church put so much effort in, that human effort, but God's done so much work. It's exciting. So, saying they've just got through the Jordan, everyone's scared of them, and then we get on to Joshua 6, the fall of Jericho. So, as you can imagine, if you are scared of someone, you wouldn't just keep your door open. They're locking up their gates, they've got high walls, no one's going in or out. It's like a lockdown, I suppose, but even a harsher one, because they're like, no one's going anywhere. You can stay in the city, but you do not go outside. So everything's locked up. I'm not going to read it all, but basically God says to Joshua, I want you and the priests and your army, the fighting men, to go around the city. He goes, for 6 days, I want you to just go round once, come back. Next day, round once, come back. 6 times, okay? So that's what they're going to do. And on the 7th day, I want you to go around 7 times. What's that like, doing like a 400-metre track once a day, and then you have to do a marathon, 500 metres, I don't know. So you've got this command. Now, if I was told to walk around a city, oh yeah, and then as well it says, and then the walls will fall down. Now, if I was told to walk around a city, so you told me now, walk around a city and blow some trumpets and shout, and the walls will fall down, I'd probably think that wouldn't happen. Unless God has just opened up the waters so I could walk through a sea, the Sea of Jordan, I think it is. Then I might be a bit more, do you know what? I'm up for this. You know, we're on a momentum, like, yes, come on, we can do this. So anyway, so that's what they do. They go around each day. They have the priests, and they take the Ark of the Covenant. They go round, and the priests blow the trumpets, the ram horns. So can you do that now? Just a... It says they go continuously. Now, I don't think I could walk around the block doing this continuously. Now, if no one's asleep in your house, why don't you try to walk around your living room doing that? We'll do it together. You ready? You got to do it as long as you can. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Pretty sure I feel a bit lightheaded. How are you? Take a little sit down, little rest. In through your nose, up from your... Back in the game. One, that's pretty incredible that they walked around doing that. So they did that for 6 days. Then on the last day, Joshua said, we're going to go around, and once the priests have stopped, we're going to blow our trumpet. We're going to blow and we're going to shout. So that's what they did. 7 times they go around. It says here... And on the 7th time, when the priests had blown the trumpets, once again, the priests have got big lungs if they can go around like that. Joshua said to the people, shout, for the Lord has given you the city, and the city and all is within it shall be devoted to the Lord for destruction. That's pretty cool. They're ready and it's going to fall. Can you imagine that? Just like that, walls falling down, people shouting and screaming. Can you imagine being in the city then? Like, everything that's protecting them has gone, and then God's army rushes in and takes everything in there, the gold, the silver, everything, it says. And imagine being on the outside, being part of God's people, seeing that. Maybe some of them doubting, maybe some of them thinking, is this really going to work? I feel a bit silly shouting, really. It doesn't, I know everyone else is doing it, but right? Or some people going really shouting for it and really getting into it, and then seeing the walls crumble as a little crack comes through, and then everything. Now it finishes this this chapter 6. So, they missed out. Now, who did we talk about earlier? I said slightly gloss over a little bit. Rahab. Now Rahab was saved by the Israelites as well, because they said, you've hid our spies, so we're going to save you. So they were the first people. Her and all her family got taken out, and they said they'll always be protected, which is just shows the honesty and loyalty of the Israelites, which is amazing. But yeah, go to her house, bring her from there and all who belong to her, as we swore to her. And they lived in Israel to this day. How cool is that? They're the ones that hid messengers who Joshua has sent to spy out Jericho. And here we go, the last line on here, okay, which I think is really important for us today. So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was in all of the land. The Lord was with Joshua. Now that is no different from us now. We might not be asked to go and shout to knock down some walls, but you know, there's probably some spiritual walls we can knock down. There's probably some things that we can think and say that need to be knocked down. There's all this stuff that are not physical walls, but they're walls that we can go, we need to knock them down through prayer, through faith, and we get to do that. You get to see. Recently, let me give you a quick story. So I was a little bit scared of one of my, well, not scared of my client I've got. There's someone I work for, and I thought I'd pray for her. So I built up the courage, and I felt God was with me. And I said, can I pray for you? She had hurt wrists, so I said, can I pray for you? And she said, okay. She's not a scary person. I probably shouldn't have been scared, but that was some walls I'd put up. I felt like I couldn't go and ask. So anyway, I did. I prayed for her, and her wrists have been healed. So this was a week ago now, and still her wrists are completely fine for months and months and months of hurt. And another one as well. There's someone I work with, and I wanted to invite her to the Alpha course that started a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago now, or week 2 I think. And I wanted to ask her, and I was a bit scared, and these walls I put up, once again, she's not a scary person, but I did, and I asked her, which is just, you can knock down these walls, whatever they are, when you pray, when you ask Jesus, when you say, Father, help me. How amazing is that? Well, Big Noise, enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you've enjoyed this talk, and any questions, let me know. I'd love to help. Speak soon.